It's Monday. You know what that means. Time to kick off your week. But the only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. Episode 441. Flex Zone is always getting it done. And we're getting it done with another illustrious returning Flex Zone family member as our illustrious guest of the evening. And as we head into the Memorial Day weekend, we take a look at the NFL schedule. The AFC North, how do the Ravens feel about it? How do other teams feel about it? We drive down 95, take a look at the Commander schedule and notable games that will be coming up this season. Of course, it is time for the NBA Conference Finals. The East gets started tomorrow, and we got the West on Wednesday. Final Four in the NBA. We'll break it down and preview it. Of course, we got to talk about Caitlin Clark. She made her debut this past week. And of course, we got to get to those current events. One kicker dropping bombs, and let's just say a certain video was a reason for an apology. It's the Flex Zone Podcast, episode 441. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Coming to you live right after this. Knocking out the competition harder than your boy Fury fell on Saturday, Raj. Oh, he's still getting beat up, Raj. I think he got punched again. I think he got punched on tomorrow, man. Your boy Fury got knocked out, but we're knocking out the competition like that. I know Raj was enjoying that ass whooping, much like y'all was enjoying the ass whooping earlier on Raw from the WWE side. But it's episode 441, getting it done. Only place, fellas, giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
And always remember, whose house? It's the Flex Zone's house. Only place giving you that sports how you want it when you need it. And of course, we swerve when we drive. And we're going to need to this weekend because we got a lot of things coming up on the channel. We'll be live with you throughout the week. We'll get to that later. But another illustrious returning Flex Zone family member is returning to the debate desk, as we like to call it, in the man cave. And we'll have breakdown of the NFL schedule, the NBA Conference Finals, the stuff going on out in Hollywood, and of course, a certain kicker from the World Champions dropping bombs as well. We had a debut in the WNBA, amongst other things as well. Make sure you follow us Twitter, Instagram at the Flex Zone 1 and on Flex Zone Podcast on that good old TikTok. And of course, get those super chats in, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. It's not about me, God's favorite host, but it's about we. And starting things off, it is the social media producer, the one and only Big Raj. He's happy. He had a good weekend, and it's always this when you see the meat man.
No bread, no water, just meat.
Finish him, Daddy.
Shout out to Nitro. Such a great sound effect. But yes, I had a great weekend. It's going to be very insightful this next weekend because we have 2 pay-per-views that we got to watch. So it's going to be a lot going on, like you said, on the channel. So stay tuned for that. But let's just get into this, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Next man is the voice of reason. He is the captain of the Goofy ship. He is the Commander Lorian himself. The schedule is out, and he's ready to do his thing.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Jam. Oh, jam.
Rod, you see what we did there?
I see what you did there.
Screw you, Teddy. Screw you, Teddy.
Yeah. All that. Still.
Are you on mute?
Still a very, very goofy song. But I'm ready to get started. It's another Monday evening. in the man cave. Let's get it started. Let's talk about these schedules. Let's talk about this basketball. I can't believe Anthony Edwards or Luka Doncic is about to be in the finals. This is crazy.
That is true, Cravante. We'll talk about it. And Sharon, put those hearts down, because when you see the back half of that Steelers schedule, you might have some black and blue hearts with the way y'all got to end. But we'll get into it. Sharon, we love you. Appreciate you always checking in. Big shout out to Sam Sports. You was up here last week. But last but not least, it is the Tribal Chief. It is the one and only Flex Zone Messiah. It is the co-patriarch, along with our good brother Cravante, Mr. 25-8, proud of the East Side, savior of misbehavior, the one and only super producer, Drizzy. Dre, what is going on, my guy? Let me get you right over here.
Acknowledge me.
How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, everybody. You know what? Sharon is on, and shout out to Sharon. As y'all know, well, the group knows, over the weekend I had actually did career day at a school, and I played your video, Sharon, when you were first on our show. So shout out to you. And I also then dropped the video when we had Tate on the show. 4 more years of Tate.
Hey, tell him stop hiding. If anybody's watching this, can get in contact with him, tell him the Flex Zone is calling.
Hey, I'll let you in on a little secret. I was out last night at dinner with somebody close to Tate, so it's in the works.
You always close to him, man. When you not close to him.
Hey, man.
But
I'm like Colin Cowherd. I get the scoop, man.
We appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being in the building. But it's not about Tate, because we have the number one guy that you go to when you want that Ravens news, when you get the schedule, when you hear some news, when you see, as Raj likes to call him, Bo Derrick Henry, King Henry walking in one winning drive at OTAs. The first guy you want to look for, the first channel you go to with the news. I swear this man doesn't sleep. It's our brother. He's been supporting us since day one. He's been there every time we call him, without a shadow of a doubt. You know his channel. It is Engraven Vids. He talks about the Ravens. He talks about the NFL. He talks about the schedule. He talks about everything you need as in the world of NFL, especially from a Ravens flock perspective. He is back joining us again one more time on the Flex Zone podcast. I need everybody put your hands together, act like you know, show some love to our brother, the family member of the Flex Zone, the one and only Engraven Vids. Let's bring him on up, everybody. Engraven, what's going on, brother?
How y'all doing there, man?
What's going on, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Same old stuff. I appreciate y'all having me on as always, man.
Hey, man, for those who don't know, they better wake their ass up, but let them know who you are, Engraven.
Nobody. I ain't nobody special, man. But now we of course we got our channel, Engraven Vids. We just hit 75,000 subscribers this I guess late last week. Yeah, so it's we talk Ravens all day, every day. Then we talk about some NFL as well, just NFL in general. Everybody welcome to come check out the channel, no matter what team you're a fan of. Even I know we got a Steelers fan in the comment section. But come check out the channel too. It's all good, man. Everybody's welcome.
Well, we appreciate you being here, Engraven. I know the fellas are eager to ask you those questions, so go ahead. I know, Rod, you probably want to lead it off, or Dre, whoever wants to go first.
All right,
go ahead, Dre. You can hand it off.
All right. I'll start off. The Ravens schedule is out, and they're saying that the Ravens are not happy with it. How do you feel about the Ravens schedule this season?
I mean, it's a couple of teams that I know for sure have the 3 games in 10 days, and it's brutal, but it's just one of those things where it is what it is. Every schedule, you're gonna find faults with every single schedule. You're gonna find issues with every single schedule if you look for it. So the game's got to be played one way or another. The teams they got to face every single opponent on their schedule. Ravens, and it's just part of it too. It's a mix of you playing every conference every 4 years, and also them last year getting first place, or literally the number 1 overall seed. So since they got first place in their division, they got the number 1. So they got the first seed schedule. So they're gonna play all the best teams from the AFC. So yeah, man, I ain't got no problem with the schedule at all. Yeah, Ravens gonna have some games where they gonna be away. The only thing that I would have a slight issue with is the fact that a lot of their primetime games are away games instead of at the crib. Obviously, we would love for every primetime Ravens game to be at home, but I think it's like super lopsided for their primetime games being away versus home. But besides that, like, I mean, it's the schedule, so it is what it is.
All right. My question is this. Granted that we do have, the second toughest schedule in all of football. Why do you think that a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team, and that's been the best for like the last 4 to 5 years, why do you think they always seem to get an easier schedule than like half of the NFL? Is it because of their division, or you think?
Yeah, easy division because they got the Chargers who they can't seem to get it together. They got the Raiders who are just a complete mess, and they got the Broncos who've been struggling for years. So that's 6 games right there where it's like not necessarily all wins, but KC winning like 90% of those games versus those teams. Their division is just they're not competitive at all. So KC has just been running that. So they got their ticket punched to the playoffs pretty much every year. And then you look at their team too. Obviously, they got the best quarterback in the game. They got the best head coach in the game. And they got, in my opinion, the best general manager in the game because he keeps just finding a way to put it all together. I know there was something that PFF, I think, came out with like maybe a week ago, and it ranked the top 10 GMs in the league. And they had Howie Roseman from the Eagles at 1. Brent Veach, I forgot what the Kansas City Chiefs GM is. They had him at number 2, and they had Eric DeCosta at number 3, I believe. And I'm thinking, like, hold on, what? How can the Chiefs GM be number 2 after what they've been doing and with the teams that they've been putting together? And even when the teams ain't the best, they still obviously get the job done. But they got an easy division, but they also a team they're just great, like straight up. And they no other way to put it. They just great on every single level of football, from the GM to the head coach, coordinators, the quarterback. They know how to get it done. They know how to get the most out of what they got. So they, of course, again, they got the division, but even when they play outside of division, they obviously take care of business as well.
Let me follow up about the Chiefs then. We do open up against the Chiefs. Do you think that that's a winnable game, being that Detroit went in there last year and beat them? Do you feel the Ravens can do the same? And to follow that up, do you think it's better that we face the Chiefs early, or do you think we should have faced them later in the season?
I think it gives the Baltimore Ravens an advantage to face them early, because with the Chiefs, a lot of times they start off slow. They start off a tiny bit slow, not like abysmally slow or anything like that, but they just start off a little bit slow early on in the season. They usually do it every year. And it'll have people questioning if the Chiefs still got it. Are they going to be a Super Bowl team this year? Are they going to even make the playoffs? It'll have people asking all these questions. They do it every single year. And the Chiefs, they always turn it around middle and end of the season. They catch fire, and then they end up winning the Super Bowl. So I think it actually plays in the Ravens' favor to play them early. And then you think about the flip side of that. You think about the Ravens. Before you even talk about the Chiefs with the Ravens, week 1, that's their bread and butter. Week 1, they usually be on point. They usually take care of business. There was a game a couple of years ago against the Raiders that they lost in week 1. And then there was the game after the Super Bowl in 2013 where they played the Broncos in that away game. And that's when Peyton Manning threw them 7 touchdowns. But besides that, Ravens in week 1, they normally 9 times out of 10, they taking care of business. So it plays into the Ravens' favor. Obviously, the Chiefs still going to be a super, super tough team, an extremely tough team. But the Ravens, they're going to have a lot to prove. They're going to have a lot to prove, and they're going to be watching the Chiefs get their Super Bowl rings, the banners dropping and all that, crowd going crazy. It's an away game. And then you got a nice little familiar face that ended up making his way to facing you again 2 years in a row, and that's Hollywood Brown. Because Hollywood going to be over there for the Chiefs catching passes from Patrick Mahomes. So that should be real fun to watch. But yeah, this is definitely a winnable game for Baltimore. They just got to be on point like they normally are in week 1.
Oh, man. And that's the thing. On point. we have. Well, this is not the same team from the AFC Championship game. Of course, we've lost a lot of people in free agency. A lot of people left to different teams. A lot of players went to our division.
Yeah.
Some with Cincy, some with the bank, some with the Browns, and some with the Steelers. My question is this: we just had a draft. We drafted, I think, 9 players. In your opinion, what do you think? Who do you like as far as make the players that we got in the draft that make a total impact right away, and also who you think might be a sleeper from this draft class?
I think Nate Wiggins. I mean, he's a first round pick, so I feel like that's such a just an easy answer. But Nate Wiggins, because he allows the Baltimore Ravens in their secondary to have that much more flexibility. Because with Marlon Humphrey, he's been hurt, been getting a little more hurt than normal the past couple years, especially last year. He was hurt a lot last year. But with Nate Wiggins, he's a really good cover corner. And the Ravens, they have some really good cover corners, but the difference between Nate Wiggins versus Marlon Humphrey versus Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens are very, very physical corners. And not to say that Nate Wiggins is not physical, but he got the speed that they don't have. So it's possible that he may be able to jump a route a lot faster than they can, catch a pick, and hey, if you want to take it to the crib, no problem. But he may be able to possibly still, you got to see how he plays in the pros, but he may possibly be able to be a better playmaker than those two eventually. Not from jump, because I don't expect him to come in and kill it from jump. He could, and we won't have no problem with that, but eventually. So I would say Nate Wiggins. And as far as a sleeper who could come in and really make some noise, I would probably say maybe Adisa Isaac. And he was there, I think, their 3rd round pick, I believe, the defensive end from Penn State. And the reason I say him is because they lost Jadeveon Clowney. David Ajabo, he's healthy now, but will he stay healthy? That's a big question. Adafe, he's going to be there. But you also got Tavius Robinson. But at pass rush, at defensive end, there's a lot of question marks there. So he could possibly come in and make some noise and end up earning a good amount of reps. He ain't going to be a starter or anything like that, but he could earn a good amount of reps because the Ravens, their pass rush, it's not solidified. It's not like set in stone where, all right, these are our main guys. These are guys that's going to be rushing a pass every 3rd down. So he could possibly get a piece of that pie. I expect the starters to be like Adafe Away and Kyle Vanoy, but beyond that, and Kyle Vanoy is not going to be out there every single down. He ain't going to be out there every single snap. Adafe Away is a 3-down player, but Kyle Vanoy, he won't be. So there's going to be opportunities for other people to get in on that pass rush action too.
You mentioned the draft, but the Ravens lost a lot of key components this offseason. The defensive coordinator, their running backs, Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, Odell Beckham Jr., Jadeveon Clowney, Patrick Queen, just to name a few, Tyler Huntley. How do you feel going forward? Can the Ravens being that they were the number 1 seed last year, got to the AFC Championship game, so close to the Super Bowl, but with those losses, do you feel like they'll come back or maybe succeed and have a greater season this upcoming season?
We can hope. We can hope. I do not see this team by any means being better than last year's team was, at least roster-wise. It is possible, though, that they could end up achieving bigger things. We saw this exact thing play out 12 years ago, back in 2011 season. That team, boy, they were stacked. That Ravens team was nice, but they fell short. They lost in the AFC Championship game, and they just came up short. And that was probably, I remember watching that Ray Lewis speech so many times and just crying from it when he first said it, when I first heard it, and then watched it over again because it brought back so much pain from watching that game, the Billy Cundiff, the missed field goal. And I was like, oh, man. But then the very next year, they came back. The team wasn't as good as it was the previous year, but they had a lot of the core players and the main guys on the squad, and they won it all. So this year, this team, I cannot realistically expect them to be as good or even better than the team last year, but anything is possible because the games, they still got to be played. You still got a Lamar Jackson. You got Kyle Hamilton. So your best players on offense and defense. You got a Roquan Smith, Marcus Williams, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. Hopefully he takes a big step. Hopefully Mark Andrews will remain healthy. Isaiah Likely, he balled out last year when he got his opportunity. And then you added Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry is no slouch at all. So they definitely got a shot this year. And now I think it's really going to be all about mentality. What's your mentality going to be, especially when the games get tough, when the moments get the toughest? And regular season, Ravens going to be fine during the regular season. As long as Lamar Jackson is healthy, Ravens will be just fine during regular season. But everybody's biggest question is what are they going to do in the playoffs and how they're going to act in the playoffs? Because last year, obviously, AFC Championship game, they fumbled that whole game in the worst kind of way possible. They did not play their game. They were not themselves, because it would have been one thing if they lost the game and they lost playing their style. They lost playing Ravens football. And it'd be like, all right, well, they tried. It was a great season. Yeah, it would have sucked that they lost, but they lost playing their way. But they lost and they were not being themselves at all. So that was the most frustrating part about it. So now that's going to be what everybody's watching for, how the Ravens are in the biggest moments. Are they going to be a shell of themselves, or are they going to forget what their identity is, or are they going to stay true to themselves? And that's what we are waiting for.
You mentioned Derrick Henry, but they also lost Odell Beckham. So do you feel like that's the best move for the Ravens, being that they got a running back, or do you feel like maybe they should have gotten another receiver to replace the loss of Odell Beckham Jr.?
Oh, man, that's a good question. And as far as Odell Beckham Jr., I think they're really putting their chips in with Rashad Bateman. And when they talked about it, I remember Eric DeCosta, he went on with a podcast, UK Ravens podcast, and he talked about how he was bullish on Rashad Bateman. He really felt like Rashad Bateman could be really good as long as he stayed healthy. And I thought he was just talking him up so he could trade Rashad Bateman. I thought he was going to get moved like before or during the draft, and it didn't happen. And then they ended up signing Bateman to that super, super cheap contract extension that's a little over $5 million a year. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. But they look like they're really sticking with Rashad Bateman. So as far as Odell, he was solid for the Ravens. He did miss a lot of time. Wasn't really out there. He wasn't a full-time player, but I don't think we could have expected him to be, especially because he dealt with injuries his entire career. But now he's in Miami, so it'll be a lot less pressure on him being there with the Dolphins. But Rashad Bateman, I think that he will start getting a lot more targets now that Odell is gone. With Lamar Jackson, he obviously going to have his favorites, and we found out from last year that Zay Flowers was a favorite, and we already know Mark Andrews is definitely a favorite too. But when you see what both of those two do with the ball in their hands, you can understand why. But now with Odell Beckham Jr. gone, Lamar has less loyalty to throw to, because he's obviously loyal to Mark and Zay, but he was also loyal to Odell Beckham Jr. So he definitely gave him his chances, and that's what you want to do. But now Odell Beckham Jr. is gone. Rashad Bateman is his time now. And when Rashad Bateman had his presser, he talked about how he feels like Lamar Jackson does trust him. But he also took some accountability. He said that he felt like their timing and their rhythm had been off because Rashad Bateman had been injured during the off seasons. But now he said he's healthy, and we saw him today at OTA, so that was really good. So yeah, he's there trying to get it, man. So as far as the loss of Odell Beckham Jr., it is a significant loss. It's not one that they can't overcome, but it is still significant. But Rashad Bateman really got to step up, and also Nelson Aguilar too, and just really the rest of the Ravens pass catches. I think Isaiah Likely, getting him involved a lot more, even with Mark Andrews healthy, that's going to be big. Tez Walker, the rookie, I don't expect him to go crazy this year, but just to come in and just be a good deep threat. And we could use as many good deep threats as we possibly can get, especially because Lamar, he loves taking the shots. So when you have somebody with that good speed like that, it can make a big difference, especially with Lamar connecting with them on a deep ball. So as far as replacing Odell Beckham Jr., I feel like it's a collective effort by everybody.
Do you think that the receiving core is complete?
No.
Or do you think that we might be looking at somebody after the June 1st cuts coming up?
Yeah, I still think they'll look to add somebody. Ravens usually always looking around for something. They always looking to just find little ways here and there and some cheap ways here and there to make their team better. A lot of people usually come available after June 1st. And so I don't think the Ravens will be done yet. I mean, they just added a receiver today. He's an undrafted rookie free agent. Is Quadri Ishmael's son, Kadir Ishmael, 6'6" wide receiver. That used to play a little quarterback too. But as far as adding a veteran, I still think they'll look that route. So I don't think this wide receiver room is done at all.
Do you think that they may do it via trade, or do you feel like you're saying that they may just go the cheap route and kind of wait it out?
I would love for them to do it via trade. I would absolutely love that, but I don't see them doing that because that's not really their style, especially at wide receiver. Like you look at the wide receivers that they've added over the years. Last year was they signed Nelson Aguilar free agency. Then they signed Odell Beckham Jr., who hadn't played for like a year and a half, something like that. Previous years, they've signed guys like Sammy Watkins. They also Deshaun Jackson. They brought him like pretty much out of retirement. Dez Bryant. Yeah, Dez Bryant hadn't played in I think 4 years, and they signed him. So with the Baltimore Ravens, they'll sign some guys now. They'll bring in some receivers, but they usually go the cheaper route. So they ain't got to spend as much bread. They ain't got to give up plenty of significant draft capital. And I think it's just been a gift and a curse with the Baltimore Ravens at receiver because normally they're in win now mode. So when you're in win now mode, you don't want to bring a rookie up. You don't want to have to bring all these young guys up and be like, all right, we're going to coach y'all up. We're going to get y'all right. No, you want guys that are ready right here, right now. So that's why Ravens, a lot of times at receiver, they go sort of the cheaper route. But hopefully this year they can add a receiver of some significance, like real significance. I know a lot of people have been thinking about them possibly adding a Michael Thomas, who used to play for the Saints. And I feel like that. I feel like he could actually be better for the Ravens than Odell Beckham Jr. Only because he's younger and he's missed less time. I mean, both of them missed a lot of time, regardless. But
yeah, I was going to say,
yeah, he been hurt a lot.
Even Mike Evans, I was questioning about that move too when they were saying that maybe we could grab him.
Well, he don't miss any. Well, Mike Evans doesn't miss any time.
Yeah, man, Mike Evans be healthy, man. I think you might be thinking about Chris Godwin, maybe
Chris Godwin, yeah,
because he missed a significant amount of time too. But yeah, man, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. But I just don't expect them to make a trade. I would expect them to sign somebody. But if they surprise us and make a trade for somebody that's good, I won't be mad.
Do you think that we add another safety?
I think they have to. They have to, and you got options out there, but you have to because you don't want to fix something that's not broken with Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton showed from his rookie year. Rookie year started off a little bit shaky, but he got really good his rookie year. Then his second year, he just killed it. Now going into his third year, we already having conversations about him being one of the best safeties in the game. And the reason that he is one of the best safeties in the game is because he's one of the best players, just overall, just a straight baller. He is not just a traditional safety. He can do it, and he can do it well, but that's not all that he does. And you want Kyle Hamilton to just be a playmaker for your team. You don't want him to just be a safety. You don't want to put him in that box. You want him to be able to do whatever. And that's what he's been doing the past 2 years. And that's what's made him such a great player, because you can literally put him anywhere. You can put him at drop back safety. You can put him in the box. You could have him rush the pass. You can have him literally do everything, and he does a great job of it. So in order to do that, you need to get another safety. Now, they drafted a safety, and I think the 7th round, Sanusi Kane, they signed the safety from Maryland, Bo Braid. So they got some young safeties on the roster right now, besides Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton, but they're not going to insert a rookie 7th round pick or an undrafted rookie free agent into a starter role at the safety position. So that's one that I definitely expect them to address real soon. Today is May 20th. So yeah, definitely, whether it's by the end of this month or early next month, I definitely expect them to address safety real soon.
Do you feel like Jamal Adams, who is still available, could help?
No, I don't think he would be a good fit as safety. As just sort of a bonus weapon, yeah, but as safety, no. He's been banged up a lot, but even besides that, he's more of a box safety. more sort of almost a linebacker almost. But drop back safety, no, that's not really his thing. But I feel like a more rangy guy would help. Somebody like a Justin Simmons, a Micah Hyde, maybe even Eddie Jackson. But I don't think Jamal Adams would be the best fit for what we need, what we would need from him, and what we want to do with Kyle Hamilton.
What do you think about Lamar Jackson losing 20 pounds and being, I think, 205? I believe is his weight right now.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing for him, or you think he might bulk up, well, not bulk up, but he might tone up before the season starts?
No, yeah, I think he will. Yeah, they said he dropped to like 205. I think he'll probably get up to like maybe like 210, maybe 212, something like that. But him dropping that weight, we saw it. We saw it last year. We saw it in the AFC Championship for some significant plays that normally we were so used to Lamar just taking off and ain't nobody catching him. But in the AFC Championship, 2 plays that stood out that really showed his weight. Because he didn't look slow, but he didn't look as fast as a Lamar Jackson that we know. One was the play where he dropped back, he threw it, and I forgot which Kansas City defender tipped it up, and it went up in the air. Lamar Jackson caught it. He caught his own pass, and he started running, but then he got tackled. And then there was another play where it was 4th down, and the Ravens went for it. Early on in the game, they went for it on 4th down. And Lamar took off, but he just kept looking back. And then the KC defender, it looked like Lamar even slowed up. And the KC defender just caught him. But that should have been like, if that's 2019, that's a touchdown all day. If it's 2020, that's a touchdown all day. Even 2021, that's a touchdown all day. But last year, it didn't end up being a touchdown. So with Lamar's weight loss, this should add to his explosion. And also, I think this could help with the touch on them deep passes a bit. Because that's something that there was some miscommunication with some of those deep balls last year. Sometimes they were overthrown, sometimes they were just dropped, and sometimes the receiver slowed up. There was a lot of different things that happened on those deep passes, but I think this will Lamar. It'll just allow him to have a little more touch on the ball than he did last year. Because arm strength has never been an issue for Lamar Jackson. He's always had arm strength. Maybe last year there was sometimes where he might have had a little too much arm strength and put a little too much on it. But also, that's what I was talking about earlier with Tez Walker, with them drafting Tez Walker and just him having that speed. Because Ravens and Lamar just missed that speed, that true speed from a wide receiver over these past couple of years. So adding him to the mix, that would help a lot. But with him losing the pounds, I think it'll be a good thing for his game.
Well, with Lamar Jackson, were you surprised that last year he won the MVP?
Early on, when because it's like he came out of nowhere with getting into the ballots and the race for MVP, but while there was a certain stretch toward the end of the year when Ravens faced the Chargers, they faced the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Rams. They were just playing so many like really good teams. And then early on in the season, when they played the Seahawks, when they played the Lions, like they went against some good teams. They went against a lot of playoff teams too. And they took care of business just about against everybody. So when you watch Lamar Jackson play and you see his impact on the game and everything that he does, and when you think about an MVP, I think one of the biggest things you got to look at is how is this team with this player? How does this player impact the team? But how are they without that player? And how would they be? Would they still be as good if they didn't have that player? And we've unfortunately had that question already answered from the Baltimore Ravens several times when Lamar's been out. They ain't the same Ravens, and they're not even close. And I mean, you can say that about a lot of quarterbacks, but when you look at everything that Lamar Jackson does, obviously as a starting quarterback leading the team in passing, but also as a starting quarterback normally leading the team in rushing too. And that's a lot. That takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of just extra work and skill and ability to be able to do. And he does it week in, week out. So his impact on the Baltimore Ravens, and not just the Baltimore Ravens, but his impact on the NFL. And then when you see just how he performs on a game-by-game basis, but then especially even last year, how he performed against playoff teams, or how he performed against the winning teams, the best of the best. That's when he really put on his best showing. So initially, when he first got into the MVP run-ins, I was surprised, but when he won it, it was not a shocker at all because he continued to solidify his MVP every week after week after week. Against the 49ers, that's when they were like, oh, this game could be the one that decides the MVP, Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson. And they threw Christian McCaffrey in there too. But Lamar Jackson went off against them. And then I think either a week later, or actually 6 days later, we played the Dolphins. And people were thinking, all right, how's Lamar going to do in this game? How are you going to follow that 49ers game up? And he came out, he threw like 4 or 5 touchdowns against the Dolphins that game. Yeah. Then they're like, oh, yeah, that's a wrap. The MVP is his. It's done. So Lamar Jackson, I wasn't surprised when he won it because he showed, especially at the end of the season, like, yeah, he deserved it for sure.
All right. And are you worried about anybody in the division, Joe Burrow, whether or not he can stay healthy, the Steelers, how they've been, the Browns, they kind of surprised us last year with their circus of quarterbacks. So are you worried at all about our division this year at all?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Gotta be. We talked earlier about how with the Chiefs, their division has been sweet for a long time. They just had an easy path to winning their division every single year with little pushback from the other 3 teams. But with the Ravens, it ain't like that. You look at the Bengals, obviously you mentioned Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow, he could play. That boy could play some football, and he got a nice team around him. Hopefully T. Higgins continues to hold out and don't ever show up. But Joe Burrow, he's nice, man. And with the Bengals, they gonna give Ravens a little trouble. With the Browns are a crazy team, and as much chaos as they go through every single year, they seem to give the Ravens trouble. And the Steelers, when you think about the Steelers, we always would think like, man, these Steelers, they sorry, they ain't got nobody, they ain't nothing, but they just keep beating the Ravens for one reason or another. And now they've upgraded their quarterback situation to Russell Wilson and even Justin Fields too. And when you think about those 2 quarterbacks, you think about the Mike Tomlin, and the whole record thing. Oh, he never had a losing record, and there's a lot of 9-7s, and there's some 9-8s too. But he finds a way to still get it done. And he had Kenny Pickett at quarterback. You just got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. All you got to do is ask them, don't be as bad as Kenny Pickett. Just don't be as bad as him, and they'll be just fine. So they Steelers are always a threat as well. So with the AFC North, it's a tough division, man. It's a real tough division. Last year had 3 playoff teams, right? I think it was 3 playoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and now everybody got a fresh, clean slate. People healthy again now. So yeah, it's gonna be a fight, and it's not gonna be easy for Ravens at all.
Hey, we were talking about the safety position, and you brought up a guy who I thought about when he became available, Justin Simmons. Is there something we're missing, and something that people know and I don't think is widely known? Why is he still available?
Hey, that's a great question, man. I've been wondering the same thing. Like, this man was one of the best safeties in the league, and I remember when he got released, I was shocked. I was shocked that he got cut from the Broncos. So I was like, oh yeah. I wanted my Ravens to sign him, but I'm like, oh, they ain't gonna sign him. He gonna go somewhere for more money and whatnot. And okay, there's been nothing since. So I have no clue why Justin Simmons is still sitting out there. Now he is sitting out there with a lot of other free agents at safety net, but I have no clue how or why he didn't get picked up yet. Geno Stone. And shout out to Geno Stone now, because he did his thing last year. But Geno Stone, we got picked up before Justin Simmons. So could he be potentially holding out to get a significant amount of money, try to get another decent payday or something like that? Maybe. I don't know. That could be the only thing I could think of, that he wants more money than anybody's been willing to get. But the fact that he's still out there is crazy.
And Graven, what's the offensive line going to look like? That's what I want to know. I think that's the key to all of this. Receivers, Derrick Henry, Lamar. I think the offensive line is the key.
Any, many, many more. I mean, you got Ronnie Stanley, that he'll be a starter, and Tyler Linderbaum, that's another starter. But besides that, I think everything is up for grabs. They're going to have competition at left guard, right guard, and right tackle. They drafted Roger Rosengarten at right tackle. Well, he could be left tackle too, but the thing about him, he had actually switched to protect Michael Penix's blind side. Since Michael Penix is left-handed, so he moved over to the opposite side of the offensive line, so he can play on both sides of the offensive line. So that is a good pick for the right here, right now, and the future of the Ravens offensive line, since this is Ronnie Stanley's last year. But yeah, you can insert him there. You got Falele, who's another year in the league. This is his third year in the league, I believe. They signed Josh Jones, who used to be of the Texans, and he's another versatile offensive lineman. So they got options. Andrew Voorhees, this will essentially be his rookie year, since last year he was hurt all year. So that's another option that the Ravens got at offensive line. So they got some guys, man. They have their options, and then you got Ben Cleveland. Ben Cleveland could be the typical case of Ravens offensive lineman who their first 3 years kind of quiet, they kind of like up and down, and then that fourth year when it's contract time, they all of a sudden just show out, and they end up pricing themselves out of the Baltimore Ravens. But Baltimore Ravens do get a good year out of him, so he could be the right or left guard for the Ravens this year. So they're gonna have some options, man. But yeah, you're definitely right. That is where everything starts and ends for a team, is on at offensive line. So if they can get that right, that makes Lamar's job easier. Derrick Henry, that makes adding him even better. That gives more time for the wide receivers to get open when they're running their routes. So that it just makes life easier for an offense when that offensive line is right.
What did you think about the Ravens at Preakness? Seeing Lamar Jackson, Ray Lewis, Zay Flowers, and Charlie Kolar with the straight backs.
Oh yeah, he got the cornrows in. I thought that, especially with Charlie Kolar, man, I thought that was just gonna be a little quick thing that he put in. He was going through, just messing around with it that one day at I forgot what they were doing. Maybe it was like not OTAs. It's somewhere they were reported to the facility like a month ago, and he had the braids in. But he's still rocking it. So I said, all right, cool. I guess he doing his Drake thing right now. But it was cool. It was cool seeing the pictures of that, because everybody they get all clean for it and whatnot. Of course, Ray Lewis, he made the announcement for the races to start. He said that when he was doing the dance, he said he almost fell doing that dance. So Ray Lewis got to be careful, man. He might have to save the squirrel dance for when he on concrete or something. Not in the back anymore, man. You might have to let it go for a little bit. But it's cool, man. Seeing just Lamar out there. And Lamar is somebody who, Zay Flowers, somebody who Lamar really, especially because this is his 7th year now. Well, He just really embraced the city, really embraced Baltimore and Baltimore Ravens. And obviously, I mean, they paying you all that money to make it easy to embrace it. But still, he's somebody that no matter where he is, he's the same guy. When you see him talking, you interact with him, you see his interviews and stuff. He's always lighthearted, joking around, calm, laughing, usually in a positive mood. Now, sometimes you will see him in a not so positive mood after some tough losses, but that's expected. But stuff like this, that's the thing I appreciate about Lamar, that he's always the same person no matter what the situation is. And that's somebody that's authentic. So shout out to Lamar Jackson for really being who he is. But yeah, it was nice seeing everybody all clean and whatnot. Why they watch some races, man.
All right, well, I got one more question for you, and I'm and this is non-Ravens related.
Okay.
This brother has been on the news for, I guess, probably almost 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And about Saturday, well, actually Friday, a video that came out. P. Diddy. What are your thoughts on his apparent situation that he put himself in? What are your thoughts on the video? I'm pretty sure you saw it. A lot of people.
Yeah, I've seen it. It was sad to see, but it wasn't surprising. A lot of these celebrities, a lot of these just people with the boatload of money, just in these high places and whatnot. A lot of them have a lot of skeletons in their closet. Some of them skeletons end up coming out. Some of them get tucked away. But it's a lot that obviously goes on with them. Some people, I feel like when a lot of them, they have a lot of money, so they end up having a lot of power. and they let that power go to their head, and they feel like they can't be touched, they won't be touched, and it's sad. It's sad because it affects the people around them. There's some people that will allow stuff to happen to them. There's some people that won't, and not even referring to Cassie with that, but like when people have these power, these super rich, filthy rich people, they'll have the wrong people around them that allow stuff to happen. It's like they just got a bunch of yes men around them. Like, oh yeah, that's okay. No matter what their decision is, no matter what they do. Oh no, yeah, that's okay. That's good. That's fine. But that ain't the right kind of person to be, man. You got to be straight up with people and let them know when they're doing wrong. But with him, it wasn't surprising, man. You hear all the stuff about the parties and stuff. We've been hearing about that for a long time. I know it just got popular over like the past like year and whatnot, but people been hearing about that stuff for a long time, man. A real long time. And it's just a shame, man. That's why I think it's important to not like, because a lot of people, they look at celebrities and they're like, oh, I wish I could have that. I wish I could be them. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could have this and that. And they get envious and jealous of these celebrities, but they a lot of them they don't even be good people. So it's important not to like worship these celebrities, not to feel like they better than us regular people, anything like that, because they not. They really not. They make poor decisions just like we do. They bleed the same just like we do. But they just got a lot more money. So when you got a lot more money, you make a bad decision. It's a lot easier to cover it up. But with him, it's a shame, like how that whole thing was, and see what's crazy about it too is that was I think they said that was from 2016. I think.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
it's like
2016.
that's a video from 8 years ago. 8 years ago. We ain't never heard nothing about that before. That's a video from 8 years ago. Imagine all the stuff that we still don't know about. So, and nobody said anything about that before. So it's like, it's just a shame, man. It's a shame, and you just never know what's going on in people's personal lives, good or bad. In that case, obviously bad. And you just hope that people they be better. You just hope that people will be better. That's it. That's straight up just like that, man.
Well, I do want to ask you, my last question is about the Chiefs kicker and his controversy as well.
Oh man, Harrison.
Mm-hmm. What were your initial thoughts about the speech and the backlash he got from that?
Oh, I didn't even know. I saw bits and pieces of it, and then I remember I think somebody posted the entire speech, and I clicked on it and I saw that it was 11 minutes long, and I just clicked off. I said I ain't about to listen to this whole thing. But I don't even know, man. I felt like he was basically telling like a lot of women like, oh, you need to stay in your place. You need to stay in your place, and I feel like he it was very, very poor delivery. I think it was a poor message behind it. Because he just basically told women like, y'all, you shouldn't try to be nothing. You can't be nothing special. So it was unfortunate to hear that, but it's like, you know, that saying, what's the saying that any publicity is good publicity, something like that.
Even bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, there it goes. Because with him, he had that. And then I saw the petition where it had over like 30,000 people, probably a lot more than that by now, but people were petitioning for him to get released by the Chiefs. You know, Chiefs wasn't going to cut him. But then his jersey ended up being the #1 selling jersey on Fanatics after all of that. So it's like, it's just, we just live in a world that's just, a lot of stuff is backwards. A lot of stuff is messed up. A lot of people are messed up, and it's very, very just unfortunate. You think about people's thought processes, how they develop these thoughts in their heads, and it just makes you question a lot of stuff. It makes you wonder, like, how could somebody even come up with that? But the whole thing with Harrison Butker, it was just, it was wild. But then when I saw that his jersey was the #1 selling jersey after that, I said, oh well, that makes sense for the world that we live in.
And Graven, let the people know what you got going on in your channel and how to keep up with you, my guy.
Oh yeah, we just talking football, man. Just talking football, a day at a time, taking it easy. Appreciate y'all for having me on. You can find us on the channel. YouTube is Engraving Viz, Twitter, Instagram, everything is Engraving Viz, even Facebook too. For those of y'all that use Facebook, we'll be on there a little bit as well. So I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything that y'all are doing. Y'all are obviously having fun with it, so keep doing your thing, man.
Engraving, appreciate you, brother. Your
Thank you, and
inspiration.
congratulations in
Yes,
advance.
yes, congratulations, brother.
Congratulations and Engraving. If you do come to a game this season, I got to hook up with you this time. I missed you the last time I got hooked up with you. If you come to Baltimore.
Yeah, for sure. If I get a chance, yeah, I'll let you know, man.
Right.
Yes, sir, Engraving. We'll hopefully have
sir.
you back on before the season, and enjoy that summer down there in Florida, brother. Make it crazy.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Give it up for Engraving, everybody.
Appreciate you,
One
man.
more time.
Appreciate
Good brother,
you, man.
Engraving. Always showing love to the Flex Zone podcast, and always dropping that knowledge for our Baltimore Ravens. All right, let's get into this Diddy thing. We were kind of talking about it, Raj. I know you wanted to talk about it. Yeah, we saw the video from Friday. Apparently, it's from 2016. He released an apology yesterday. What's your thoughts as Cravante puts the thumbs down? What's your thoughts on it, Raj? I'll start with you.
Man, oh man. I mean, we covered Diddy with Miss Sharon when she was on the show. I think that's when houses were getting raided. So it was a huge topic then, and now with this situation between him and Cassie and the video that came out on Friday of him actually um, abusing her and doing all kinds of weird things. And yeah, man, it's just legitimately a really sad situation. But like Engraven said, this is not the first time we heard about him doing things like this. It's just that we never seen it in person. And we got a glimpse, just a little glimpse of what it's like, I guess to be around, Sean Combs when he's intoxicated or if and he's doing goofy things. But it's just really sad, man. And it just goes to show that we should not worship celebrities at all. And his behavior is inexcusable as a man in general. But yeah, I feel bad for Cassie. I be honest with you, when she came out with the lawsuit, I I believed her from the beginning. Even before he settled, I believed a lot of what she said about him. Just from the things that we heard over the years, like this is not a one-time thing. This hasn't been going on for the past 10 years. This has been going on since I guess the mid 90s with his baby mother Kim that he was abusing back then. So I mean, this is nothing really new, and it's just it just puts it kind of puts my whole childhood really in the question. I mean, we've already seen R. Kelly go to jail. He's never probably coming home. We didn't see things like Dr. Dre, slapping women or whatever back then, and it was being talked about. We've seen, a bunch of people do goofy things in the entertainment industry and get slaps on the wrist, and Diddy is just another example of a guy that we should never follow or even strive to be around or be like. But it's just sickening, man. It really is. And that apology yesterday, I mean, my goodness, man. Like, who in the world put you up to that? Like, why would you do that? Like, without any thought, without any, self-reflection or anything like that. Like, you put out a heartless apology. You don't even apologize to Cassie. You don't apologize to your kids. You don't apologize to really anybody. And it's just like, why would you make a 1 minute apology to apologize to nobody? And then to say that And then to say that you've gotten professional help, man, I can't tell that you got professional help. You still around here being goofy. You got a dude named Little Rod suing you right now for millions of dollars, for the last year and a half that you was trying to do things that you did to Cassie with him. So I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And then these dudes, they use the word God like they're worshiping God. They're not worshiping God, man. If you was worshiping God, you wouldn't be doing the things that you've been doing. You would be using the substances that you've been using. You would be treating people the way you were treating them the last 30 plus years. All of your artists that you had on your label have really gone against you. Your baby mother has been gone. And a lot of other people that you screwed over are coming out against you. Like your former bodyguards, Roger Bonds and Gene Deal, and a bunch of other people that dislike you at this time. So it really took us. It took us men. It took men. It took us like way back. Like we've been trying to move forward. We've been trying to progress as men when it comes to women and their situations. We're trying to better ourselves and be more open to things. But as far as this domestic violence thing, it took us all the way back. It really took us all the way back, and it just feels like we have to start all over again with him being this ridiculous, this goofy, and trying to cover it up. It's like, bro, you did what you did. Just admit to it and say, I did that. He didn't want to do that. He denied everything. He said he didn't do it. And now it's coming against him. And now he's just looking the stupidest that he's ever looked. And like everybody said, I think it's a wrap. I think he's done. I don't care how many times he apologizes. I don't care even if he redeems himself. At this point, it doesn't matter. He's been doing this for way too long. He's been getting away with everything in his entire career. And right now, I think it's his time to just take it. And if he's smart, because I know there's going to be some more things that comes out against him. I know there's going to be some more accusations, some more probably videos, some more lawsuits. If I am him, I would go find Russell, find him quickly, and go be wherever he's at. And just deuce it up and piece it out, because this is a wrap, man. If he's not charged by the end of the year with something, I don't know what to tell you, but I think he will be, because there's no way in hell that the FBI raids your houses and you're not going to be charged with anything. They're just biting their time right now. They're just putting out little things here, bit by bit. They're going to systematically break this dude all the way down. And this is just like the first piece of evidence that just came out. Those are my thoughts.
Dre, you want to get in there? I know y'all was going back and forth in the chat.
Oh yeah. I think Roger's points were really good. So Raj, you had a nice soliloquy there. Something that we have to keep in mind is that 1 in 4 women do suffer from domestic violence, and that video that came out with Diddy, it brought me back to the Ray Rice video. That hits home in Baltimore, but it's one thing to hear about it, but then when you actually see the actual when you actually see the video, it's really disturbing that what she said word for word happened in that video. And we talk about like Roger mentioned our childhood, and you think about people like who have been to jail over the years, like the R. Kellys, the Bill Cosbys, and you try to separate the man from the artist, but it's really hard to when you see stuff like that take place, because how do you really try to separate that when you see that video and then it's out there? Once the video is out there, it's really done. And I want to say that for anybody suffering from domestic violence, the number is 800-799-7233. We'll drop that again in the chat. But no woman should ever have to suffer from what she suffered from, and it's honestly just his karma that's coming back to him. We've heard these stories a lot in hip hop, and the fact that she said it happened. Um, that case got settled so quickly to the point where when Roger was talking about, um, believing her, but the fact that it got settled so quickly, you knew something happened. Um, his apology, like you said, he shouldn't even. It's almost like he was forced to apologize, and he's so arrogant. We've known Diddy to be arrogant over the years, but his arrogance is just so out there that he probably didn't even feel a need to apologize, and then probably felt that whatever he said would brush this away. And no, like Roger said, you're done, bro. Like there's no coming back from it. I don't know anything that he could ever do to even come back from this, because it's just at this point you're just whatever's going on is just piling on. And then like Roger said, when the feds are involved too, it's done. It's a wrap for Diddy. So at this point you might as well just go into the light and not be heard from again, because nobody really wants to hear from you at this point. And I don't know what he could do moving forward, but whatever he does, it's not going to be enough.
You know what's a good comparison though, Dre? And I thought about this for a minute. But I think you know who Diddy reminds me of? He reminds me of Vince McMahon. Both very arrogant, both very egotistical, both doing sexual crazy things to people and trying to get away with things and covering up a lot of stuff. He reminds me of Vince McMahon. He's like the black Vince McMahon of hip hop, which is crazy, but it's a beautiful comparison. If you're comparing what was going on with Vince to him.
Go ahead, Cravante.
You guys didn't leave much, did you? What happens in the dark eventually, and it could be a long time. It could be 10 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years. It eventually does come to light, and I think this is the P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, coming to light. And Dre, Raj, Byron, we talk about this all the time, and it's always one thing. And Dre, you said this earlier, but it's very, very true. You could describe something to somebody, no matter what the situation is, good or bad. In this case, bad. I don't care how bad you describe a situation to somebody, it's nothing like saying it. It's nothing like saying it, because that's the reason why Ray Rice got kicked out of the NFL. That's the true reason why Ray Rice got out the NFL as soon as he did, after being up front and telling his organization, the Baltimore Ravens, that hey, I got into this mess, da 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 da. But man, once you see it, and once the public sees it, it's a whole different animal, whole different situation. Like I said, I think the apology is BS. Even in his apology, in his tone, you still see the narcissism. You still very much see that same narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't apologize. Did he even say Cassie's name in that apology?
Nope.
It sounds like you're sorry you got caught. And I guess that money, even the money dried up, because I heard that he not paid off, but paid the hotel to suppress that, to
Oh,
suppress the video.
he did. It was 50K. He got the video, but clearly somebody had the video, like
Now
the Ray
that
Rice
means
situation.
somebody. That wasn't no, that was somebody. That was an
Some
individual.
so yeah, somebody had an extra copy of that tape.
Right. So, but again, it's in the dark, come to light. You just question everything about Diddy. Allegations of past things, maybe something that happened in the mid 90s. Oh, well, I'm sorry, that happened in the mid to late 90s. You know, it's just a lot more questions that come up with Diddy because he's always been this arrogant, disgusting, narcissistic man. And we all knew that and we all were aware of that, but it's gotten to a point where it's like, all right, something something has to be done about it. Like we've gone entirely too far. But one thing that nobody's mentioning, I want to hear with Farnsworth Bentley. That's who I want to hear from. Because somebody else who was close to, was somewhat close to Diddy, that what's his take on everything. I'm interested, but if Fonzo Brentley is smart, he would just stay out of it too. This is not anything you want to. It's a very, very sticky situation, and you don't want to be attached to this guy at any point, in any way, shape, or form, because it's just too much. And Diddy is up for Goofy of the Decade at this point, because it's just gotten to be too much. And honestly and truthfully, he's getting everything he deserves.
Yeah, Queen Mia, we'll let you up, but we only got a few limited time, but we'll let you get your point across real quick. I think Dre is about to hop off, so we'll save the Harrison Butker conversation for when he gets back. But yeah, Queen Mia, we got you for a few seconds. We'll get your perspectives from a woman's point of view. While we wait for Queen Mia, guys, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that bell. Let us know your thoughts on anything. The Engraven interview, the Diddy situation. While we wait for Queen Mia, let's go to WNBA. Let's start with Caitlin Clark, and we'll work our way back because we'll get that in. Caitlin Clark debuted, Cravante. She played in her fourth game tonight. Probably maybe her best game so far. Not sure. What do you think you've seen from her so far? The Fever are 0-4. She's had some games where she scored, but she's had some turnovers. She's had some bigger, stronger, faster women guarding her. She's maybe not the most athletic individual, so you maybe see that at times. What do you think about Caitlin Clark? As we got Queen Mia in the backstage, we'll get you up in a minute, Queen Mia, but let's get through Caitlin Clark real quick.
She's getting the harsh reality of welcome to the WNBA. And honestly, it's not all her fault, because, and you in this instance, you got to put a lot of blame on the media, because they hyping her up. She this, she that. She got a shoe deal. She was offered $5 million to play with the big three. Like, it's a lot. She's getting a lot of crazy attention and a lot of hype and a lot of exposure, and that creates a certain chip on everybody else's shoulder that's been there, that's been in the WNBA and been a professional. And y'all telling me this is basically she the great white hope. Like, they expect her, she's supposed to come in like Larry Bird did in the NBA, which was tough for him in that era of the NBA. But she was supposed to come in like him and dominate this, dominate that. And these grown women ain't having it. They are not having it. And oh my gosh, when they played the Liberty, whoo! Oh my gosh, they beat her up, yo. Like, that screen, that screen in that Liberty game, I was like, ooh, she ran into a brick wall, and she's already not the biggest woman out there already. She's small. She's a shooter. She's known for shooting and running around like Stephen Curry-esque. But she gonna have to get into the gym. She's gonna have to get into the gym, and she gonna have to use her teammates, because it all being on her, that's a lot of pressure on her. So she's gonna have to rely on her teammates, and her teammates are gonna have to help. Now, unfortunately, the Indiana Fever are not good. So that's another aspect of this thing. But she's gonna have to roll with the punches and take this whooping, because she has a target on her back. And again, not all her fault, but she has a huge target on her back. And every woman on every team is going to come at her, because they said she was this, she was that, and they like, nah, she gonna have to prove every bit of that. So every point she gets, every assist she gets, every good stat she gets, she is going to earn it. And expect a lot more turnovers before it gets better.
Real quick, Raj, you want to get your thoughts on Caitlin?
I'll just say this. Yes, this is her first year in the league. She was overexposed because of ESPN put the hype machine on her. And of course, she played extremely well in college, but we all know that the WNBA game is a different game than college basketball. So she's getting the growing pains because she has the endorsement deal, because she has the shoe deal. She's getting all the big money that a lot of the other girls that deserve it didn't get. So she's going to catch the brunt of all
before playing ball, before even playing professional ball.
Exactly, before playing ball. She's going to and her team is not as good as a lot of these other teams are. So yeah, she's going to catch a beat down almost every night, and I expect her to continue to keep losing until that Indiana Fever team can get a little bit better. But like I said, this is growing pains. She'll learn from it. She's a tough girl. She'll get through it. She's still scoring, I believe, 17, 18 points. Yes, the turnovers are high.
Yeah.
But this is her first 4 games in the league. So I think by the end of the season, she'll fit right in with the Fever. She'll get a little more acclimated. And maybe year 2, they'll get a lot better. We shall see. But it's nothing new. I mean, Wembanyama was getting his ass kicked in this entire NBA season, and they went nowhere as a team. So I expect the Spurs to be a way better team next year because they'll put more pieces around them, same as they'll do with Caitlin Clark with the Fever. So it's growing pains. She'll be fine. It is what it is, and she'll get better.
All right, she's been waiting patiently. She is the first lady of the Flex Zone podcast. You can check her out with us on IEW streams on Wednesdays, our WWE pay-per-view streams, and AEW pay-per-view streams as well when Raj is not feeding her meat at Jimmy's. But it is the
craziest thing. We just say stuff on here now. That's
she'll validate
it's actually true. It's actually true.
I believe it, but still wild to say.
Let's bring up the one, the only Queen Mia. As she's cooking in the kitchen. What's going on, Queen?
Hello.
Yes, you wanted to join us.
How have you been doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Everybody?
Wanted to get the woman's point of view on this situation.
Bronte, hi. I'm never on here with you. Hey.
What's up? I hear so many good things.
that are not meat related.
There we go again.
So I did want to touch on Caitlin since that's where you guys were. I'm going to touch on that.
Feel free.
Very briefly. I feel like if she would have spoke up a lot more when they were singing her praises, like she was the, gold almighty, like she was the greatest thing to come to college basketball. I think if she would have opened her mouth and been like, this is just college, the WNBA is different. I think she could have done a lot to save herself from what she's receiving, because even though it's not nearly as much as what Flau'jae or Angel or Camila, like it's not nearly as much as what they're receiving. But everybody, like I literally watched a podcast earlier talking about, and this dude was talking about they need to let her score and they need to let her do stuff because she's going to be the one to get them deals. And I really just wish that sometimes we would just take away people's mics, because That was so dumb, and I don't think he thought about it before he said it. I don't remember where it was, but I'm gonna send the link if I can find it. But yeah, it was ridiculous. I think that if she would have spoke up a lot more when they were singing her praises like they were, before she got to this level, then she could have saved herself from a lot of this backlash she's receiving. But she didn't, and so it is what it is. She's gonna get with it or she's gonna get lost. And because she's been playing basketball for so long, I think that she's gonna eventually, get with it. I hope for her. Anyway, Angel Reese, okay, killing the game. Killing the game. She had an excellent debut. She's been playing very well, and she out partying and living her best life. So I love that for her. That's all for basketball, for me at least. Yeah. With regards to wait, do I have time to talk on both the stupid kicker and
Go
Diddy, or
ahead.
just
Go ahead. Just go ahead. Do your thing real quick.
It's your time, so you can.
Okay, I'm gonna do the stupid kicker first. Yeah, you would think that some people would just shut the fuck up. You would, but they just don't. They don't. I just want to say, y'all, TikTok is not his friend, because 6 dudes that he was sleeping with in college that came out, 2 of them got receipts.
Huh?
Some people should just not speak. Some people should just not speak. 6 of them were like, we had a thing in college. Did you?
Was he partying with Diddy?
Listen, I know that them boys did not hesitate. Those men that he was sleeping with in college did not hesitate to expose him and be like, hey, one of them was like 18 months. Whoa. 18 months?
18 months of what?
When I think college,
Of togetherness?
Finish him, Daddy.
when I think college, I think that everybody experiments. So it's like what you do, because there's just everything out there. When else are you going to do this? This is the time before you are like out in the real workforce doing everything. So you're going to do whatever you want, no holds barred, no nothing. So experimenting, by all means, experiment away. But 6 and 18 months.
Oh.
It's always the most homophobic people that the call be coming from inside the house.
That's crazy.
And it's ringing off the wall, okay? It's ringing. And it's always the most homophobic people that will tell you. Now, what I will say, was he talking to the right audience? Probably, because it was at a Catholic school. So did they receive that the way that he wanted them to? Probably. It's a Catholic college. They say stuff like this. They be preaching stuff like this. So, okay, fine. But you had to have known that it was going to be out somewhere. And then for him to double down on it and then proceed to say, I want to go back to the 50s and the 60s, when women didn't have rights, when women were being abused at an all-time rate, when it was legal to rape your wife because marital rape wasn't a thing. You want to go back to those times? Yeah, you can kiss my ass. You can kiss my fat ass, because fuck him. Some people just shouldn't speak, and I believe some people don't deserve rights. Ending that one there. Yeah, Diddy. I hope somebody finds him and just takes him out permanently.
Well, hold up. We gotta be careful about that.
I didn't say nothing. I just said I hope they take him out permanently. They could be out the country.
Yeah, take him out the country. There you go.
It could be off the planet. It could be somewhere. But I'm
off the planet is wild.
He got money. He could go to space. He could go to Mars. He got money.
Just stupid.
I'm just saying. Yeah. To see it was horrific. There were tears in my eyes, and I couldn't really watch it without feeling like I had a lot of anxiety watching that whole thing. And it was extremely hard. And I think to just watch it and then her having lived through it and lived through so many other things with him for so much time, the fact that she survived and she continues to live and speak up, and she is such a supportive partner now, who's very active in helping people get away from domestic violence relationships and helping people, escape so that they can start living and not just surviving. It it really, really, really speaks like wonders to not just her character, but also like to her husbands. And honestly, if she decides to never show her face in public again, and she decides to just keep throwing lawsuits at him for whatever, I wouldn't mind. And then I really want to just emphasize that even with this video coming out and everybody seeing what we saw with that video, the fact that there are still people talking about how they support him, talking about how they're in his corner, talking about how, you know, they want to do it. And it's a lot of I hate this for them, but it's a lot of Christians that are in there talking about something. They're praying for him. They want to see him work through it. They need him to go to church. They need him to pray. And then like people wonder why Black people especially don't turn to religion, very specifically the Christian faith, and nor do they go to why the Black church gets such a bad rep. It's literally because of stuff like this. You can witness this with your own eyes, him doing these things, and you're going to welcome him with open arms, but you still want somebody to, in the same breath, come to you if they need protection. They're not safe with you the same way they're not safe with him. They're not safe with you, and it's proven over and over and over again. This country hates women, and there's nothing that women can do right, because she left and she's still getting dragged through the mud. She stayed quiet for as long as she possibly could, and she's still getting dragged through the mud. When she came out with her first lawsuit, what were they saying? Oh, she's out for money. Oh, she's out for this. Oh, she's out for that.
Yep.
Mind you, she wasn't even the main one that was behind the lawsuit. Let's talk about that. Wasn't even the main one behind the lawsuit, but she was still getting dragged for that. Not him for being. And then when she came out with that, what did he say? He wasn't guilty. Basically called her a fucking liar.
Yep.
And then he wants us to be what? Like, oh, Diddy, I forgive you. Fuck you, bitch. Literally in the most fiery pits of hell. Don't ever come back. If he does manage to find his way. Now, I will say that LAPD did make a statement talking about, oh, like there's nothing that you can do because the statute of limitations is run up and it's out, so they can't do anything about it. Yeah, this country like hates women. They hate women. Women can do everything right and still somehow be at fault for something that happens to them. And I just think that that's gross. You ever wonder why people don't come forward in situations like this? There's no reason that anybody ever should watch that video, watch him beat her and drag her. That girl thought she had a moment of time to escape. And he ran out of his hotel room in a towel.
He was Val Venus.
To go and drag her back to hell. Yeah. Anybody that says anything other than throw the book at him, I'm not safe around. And I would really like to, I don't know if you guys know, but Shia LaBeouf also was out on the red carpet. I don't know if you guys know, but he's also a very bad person. He abused a woman so bad that he reconstructed her nervous system. So if there's anything that like all of these things come out and show you is that America very specifically does not give a flying fuck about women. They don't. People can do things in all of these high esteemed positions. Football players, basketball players, hockey players, soccer players, baseball players, all like men in high positions, wealthy men. They get to do whatever they want because they're wealthy, because of what they look like, and because they're men. They get to do whatever they want and be welcomed back with open arms. Yes, Mark, Sam Witwicky, horrible bitch. Horrible. Yeah. Whole awful things. Just very, very bad. Unfortunately, I'm a citizen here, so I have to like stay. But I promise you that if I could up and leave this country, I would, and go somewhere where my life was not constantly at stake.
Queen, man, how can they keep up with you? And will we see you this weekend? We got a lot of wrestling.
I want to say yes, you will see me this weekend. However, I do have a Memorial Day cookout to go to, so I might be like in and out, but you will see me because I will be make sure I have multiple screens, so we're gonna make sure that like I'm watching and keeping up.
Well,
But yeah, I'm on Twitter, guys. And follow me at Beautiful Mimi 99 because that's where I am. I'm also on Instagram, Queen Mia 99 because that's where I am. And
Yeah, drop all that in the chat. We'll make sure that people can follow you and see your wonderful takes and all that good stuff. And Wednesday, hopefully, we'll have you here with us.
I will be there Wednesday. I will.
And we
be-
may do SmackDown Friday. I'll keep you posted though.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll be there Wednesday. Ideally, I think I might have to work overnight that night, but so I might be in and out. But yeah, you'll definitely see me Wednesday.
Well, the way AEW's ratings are going, we may be the only 3 people watching. So there you go.
yeah, you might
Queen
be
Mia,
right.
thank you.
But Queen, make sure you eat a lot of meat at that cookout, okay?
I will.
Here we go again. Oh God. My heavens, you
Thank you, Queen Mia. Appreciate you. Love you.
No bread, no water, just me.
Still crazy.
Just
Finish him, Daddy.
Big shout out to Queen Mia yet again. Confrence, I want to get your thoughts on the NFL schedule, more specifically your Commanders. We talked about the Ravens a lot, but I want to get your thoughts real quick on the Ravens before we get to this NBA stuff. What are your thoughts on the Commanders schedule as I pull it up for you here on stream?
I'll wait for you to pull it up, but it is not. It's not as crazy, and I don't know what I thought, but it's like we have some relief, but then we got some difficulties because we do have to play the AFC North, so all those games are going to be very difficult. But then we turn around and have to play the NFC South, so it's like we get to play the best division, and then we get to play the worst division. NFC South, AFC South, depending on who you talk to. It's the NFC South.
And Queen Mia is a Commanders fan, by the way, so shout out to Queen Mia.
Oh, shout. That's what's up.
Didn't mention that.
Yeah. Okay, October. Yo, I feel better about the Ravens game. Like me being in attendance for real. I feel so much better about that. What's interesting is I'm looking at the cold weather months and who do we play? The first zoom
I'm
out a little
sorry.
bit.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, this gives me the vibes that we can go to like a middle of the pack record. I'm looking at maybe about 7, 8, maybe somewhere around the 500 range. I think we get probably 7, 8 games, maybe. The AFC and the good thing about this is that the AFC North, their games that look like they kinda. Oh no, we got it back to back. Nope, I was about to say they spaced out. No, they're not. We got the AFC North. What's that? 3 in 4 weeks.
Yep. You got the Bengals, you got the Cardinals, then you got the Browns and the Ravens.
Oh boy. I mean, I guess get out sooner rather than later. I guess if we gonna go through the gauntlet, let's go through the gauntlet early. Because then we got the Steelers, a few weeks after that. But it seems like we can like kind of pick things back up because we do have after going through that gauntlet, we have the Panthers and then the Bears. Not saying that those are easy W's, but there's some relief. And then we play the Giants. I don't think the Giants are going to be good this year. But then boom, run into the Steelers, the last portion of that AFC North. So it seems as though, and we only have 2 primetime games. I hate primetime games. Y'all know that because the Commanders, Redskins, Washington football team, they don't perform well typically on primetime games.
Caleb Williams comes back to Landover to have a pick, number 1 versus number 2 overall pick on Thursday night.
I love it.
Sunday game. Excuse me. Sunday game.
Let's highlight that game.
10-27
game. I'm really looking forward to is highlight the Ravens game, the Bears, and
Steelers. Miss Sharon says they're gonna whoop y'all.
You got it, baby. I ain't got no fight. Yo, you got it, yo. I ain't going to I ain't not here we go. Here we go.
I got the Bengals on the road on a Monday night.
Early too. Look. It's like it starts off kind of smooth and then it just hits. We got
What's the over on the
Giants.
You said 7-8 wins, you think?
Yeah, I think around 7, 8. If everything goes perfect, probably like 10. But everything will have to go absolutely perfect, and we probably have to get a couple games to swing our way. But I think 7, 8 is a number that we can probably reach as a win total. But it's really the early part of the schedule is really crazy because I mean the Bucks, Giants, and then AFC North. It's like that's kind of crazy. But yeah, but the games I'm highlighting, the Ravens because I want to be in attendance. The Bears, Caleb Williams returns home, and we got the Eagles on Thursday night.
I think that is a Thursday night game.
No, that's no. Eagles is a Sunday game.
No, Eagles is 11-14 is it says Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday night.
Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, they got 2 Eagles games.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought you were talking about the 12-22. Never mind.
Okay. So and the Cowboys 11-24. That's kind of close to Thanksgiving, ain't it?
Yeah, but that is not Thanksgiving.
I was gonna say because if Thursday is the 14th, that means Thursday would be the 21st.
That is so it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So Dallas has 2 straight home games.
Oh, isn't that grand?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have crazy high hopes. I'm just excited that things are turning in a positive direction. Like I said, I'm be very, very I'll be optimistic because y'all know I'll be the first one to tear down the Commanders. But I will be optimistic and say we can get 7. I think probably at the max 8 wins. But the early part of the schedule is going to be tough. Like I said, 3 AFC North opponents in 4 weeks. Yeah, that's going to be a little tough. But again, I'd rather start with that than end with that.
Let us know how you feel about the Commander schedule. I know we got some primetime games on Netflix. I know we talked about this, Raj, while we were live, but you got the Christmas on Wednesday with the games on Netflix. You're going to have the prime games on Thursdays. Anything else you want to add about the schedule, Raj or Cravante, before we get to this NBA talk?
Well,
you're going to have a triple header on Peacock the same day as college football. It's crazy, man. A lot of competing.
Not really. We talked about it like last week. So
I think it's. I was gonna say, we did talk about it last week, but I just think it's crazy how the NFL definitely bogarted their way onto Christmas. Like that's crazy.
On a Wednesday at that. Like,
that's crazy. That's crazy. That the NFL will do anything for a money grab. I tell you. So that's gonna be an interesting dynamic coming up towards the end of the year to see how that unfolds along with 5 NBA games as well.
Well, let's get to the NBA. We're at the conference finals, guys, and it kicks off tomorrow as the Boston Celtics, Raj, battle the Indiana Pacers. Game 1 tomorrow. No Porzingis, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. He could miss at least the first 2 games. What are your thoughts on this series, and how do you see it playing out?
See Boston beating Indiana in 6 games. I think the Porzingis thing will play an account, probably game number 2. I think the Celtics take game 1. But I just think the Celtics got more firepower. I think their stars are better. I just think they're overall better, better squad. They won over 60 games in the regular season. When they decide to show up, they're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So I think they I ain't gonna say easily beat Indiana, but I think they beat them in 6. I think Indiana, I think they would have lost to the Knicks if the Knicks were healthy. But the Knicks, of course, was not healthy. They lost Jalen Brunson, and when they lost Brunson, I thought that was completely it. So they got by against the Knicks, and I just don't think they're going to get by against the Celtics. So the Celtics will win the series. It just won't be. It won't be a sweep. It'll either be 5 or 6 games. I'm picking them in 6.
They shot a record, Cravante, 61.7% from the field yesterday. And after Minnesota's road win, which we'll get to in a second, in game 7 since the bubble, so 2021 to 2024, road teams are now 8-4 in game 7s in the NBA.
That is terrifying for the home for the home teams. I think so. Big ups to Indiana for winning those last 2 crucial games, and putting the Knicks right back where they right back where they know all too well, in that loser circle. Knicks had an amazing season though, and they should be proud, but it got a little too hype for them, unfortunately, and Indiana had to bring them back down. To the Celtics, it should be 5 games. Raj, I agree. It should be 5 games, but the Celtics don't know how to don't know how to keep their foot on anybody's neck. Like they don't know how to do that yet. So it's got an extra game is going to get played somewhere. I think so. I think it'll probably be 6 games. But honestly and truthfully, they'll be double digit. They'll be, if not double digit, close to double digit favorites in every game. And Mark just said the Pacers are going to get swept. I don't think so. I don't think the Celtics got it like that. Like, they are a better team, and they are a significantly better team than the Pacers, but they don't got it like that. Just to up and beat them up, go up and down the court, beat them all day long, and just put the hammer down on them. I don't think they have it like that. So I think the first it'll go with 6 games, but I'll say it should go anywhere between 5 and 6 games. So I agree with Rod on that point.
Jersey Dre, welcome back, brother. Starting with the East, you're right on time. How you feel about the Celtics Pacers? And if you want to throw your thoughts in on Caitlin Clark as well, we talked about that briefly.
You know what? I'm going to start with the ladies first. As far as Caitlin Clark, she's a rookie. It's going to take time. I think that, one of the things is that she's a young girl, and it's a lot of pressure on her to be the face of the WNBA. You entered this not really earning being the face of the league. I feel like when we talk about the face of the league, that has to be, now she might be the face of a movement. And I think that that's a different conversation compared to the face of the WNBA, when there have been women in the league who have been there for years who deserve that honor. And some of those women who have helped pave the way are still playing right now. Because, like, to me right now, if you talk about a face of the league, Asia Wilson, the way that she's balling out, the consecutive championships that she's had, possibly on her way to a third one, that's somebody who's like the face of the WNBA. But Caitlin Clark, the face of a movement, getting people to get that viewership into the WNBA. She's young. She's a rookie. She's transitioning from college to pros. It's only been a month. It's going to be a learning curve. And I think that people have high expectations for her when she's still learning everything herself, from how to be a professional to seeing how the WNBA is played. So you're right. She didn't ask to be the face of the league, but you could see that they just kind of forced this thing upon her. So, and I'm just telling people, just give it time. She's going to be fine. She's going to be a good player in the league, but just give her time to transition to that. As far as the East, it's Boston's to lose, but I think once they get to the finals, it depends on the injury to Porzingis. But whoever they face, I felt like the
Pacers and
West.
6 is crazy.
No, I don't think that she's crazy for actually saying that, because we've seen the Boston Celtics fold too many times. There was no reason for them to lose to Miami the way that they did those years ago. And then even when Miami they were down 3-0 to come back and tie the series and still lose, like come on, like Boston, we've seen them.
But
fold.
Miami had something that Boston didn't.
What was that?
Toughness. They were tougher than them. Boston just faked the funk. They only had Marcus Smart at the time. That was a tough guy. Like Miami Heat was tougher than them.
But what has this team really done differently compared to over the seasons? Except they got rid of Marcus Smart, they added Drew Holiday, and they added Chris Porzingis. But it's basically the same team every year that they've kind of had, with the focal points being, of course, Tatum and Brown. And then to me the issue has really been, who is the guy? Because we keep saying Tatum is the guy, but then we say that, hey, Tatum is Tatum's team, but then you see Brown as the aggressive one, and Tatum has his spots. So to me, I'm not sure, how do you really trust this team when this team seems that they can't really trust themselves? Because if that's the case, to us, a lot of the times Boston should have won Boston should have won this a long time ago. And to me, something that our great friend and mentor to the show has said years ago, that window gets smaller and smaller.
It closes.
And
it shuts fast.
And I'm to the point now where I'm close to saying, I know they're young, and I know everybody keeps saying that this is a young team, but even with a young team, we've seen this. Miami, Golden State Warriors. If you start seeing a glimmer of this, sometimes people bail. And the fact that Boston has given both these guys these $200+ million, well, in Tatum's case, $300 million dollar extensions, they're going to be around for a while. But then you still have to question, okay, we're getting to the playoffs, we're getting closer, but when are we finally going to get over the hump? So I just don't know that. Yes, I think Boston can get to the finals, but would it surprise me if the Pacers beat them either? No, because people forget that the Pacers and the Mavericks both made critical moves, hence why they're in the conference finals right now. Now, if you're talking about Boston beating them, I will favor Boston, but our friend the chocolate writer has said, I'm not necessarily surprised with her pick, but that the Pacers could win in 6.
They got to get it done this year, Dre. Denver's out. It's no excuse. They got to get it done this year,
bro. I'm saying this: whoever comes out of the West is winning the finals.
But the beauty of Boston is they do play in the East, and ain't nobody in the East taking that spot no time soon.
And you know what though? Real quick before Cravante goes, I'm glad you actually brought that point up, that they've cruised their way through the East, and we've all seen this time and time again. Sometimes in sports, when you cruise your way through that thing, and you get to somebody that's actually going to be able to punch you in the mouth, and then you haven't been tested, so you're not going to be able to punch back. And if you do punch back, your punch ain't going to be the same as their punch, because all these teams in the West have been battle tested. They've gone through not only just the West, but then you've gone through in the regular season. Then you've had the playoffs on top of that. And a lot of these series have been going 6 or 7 games, especially like the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are on a high because they came off from knocking the defending champs out the way. The Dallas, the Mavericks, the moves that they've made, the scrutiny that they've had from Kanye and Luka, Kyrie and Luka.
Kanye.
And
what Kanye say?
Well, Slum Village was on in the car before I.
I'm calling.
I'm calling. So between hearing that and then actually you see that they've won series and be able to get to this point, it's very telling. So to me, I think, like I said, whoever comes out the West to me wins. Now I feel like the Timberwolves would definitely win, while the
Yeah, go ahead,
Mavericks,
transition to that,
would be
Dre,
a
while
little
you
more of
talking
a
about them.
series.
Who you got
But
in the West?
who I got?
Yeah, go ahead, talk about the West before I get Cavante in there.
I'm gonna say I'm a favor the Timberwolves, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Mavericks were able to win. But I think it's just something what I saw last night made me feel like something special is brewing with Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Go ahead, Cavante. I know you want to get in there real quick and give your thoughts on the West.
So I just wanted to say a couple things. So no, Boston is not tough. They lost their toughness when they gave away Marcus Smart, what little bit of toughness that they had. And Williams as well.
Oh, you know what? You're right. That's a key piece. It's about the center.
Yes.
You don't feel like Drew Holiday brings them
not
anything?
toughness, not the same type of toughness. He's quiet. He's much more quiet. He's not as loud. Like Marcus Smart had crazy hair and everything. Like Drew Holiday is like, I'm here to play
say he was dead, and then Dennis Rodman out there.
Yeah. Well, at least it was green. His hair was consistent. Dennis Rodman, we ain't never know what we was gonna get. But the issue with Boston, I think, Tatum is like the NBA tried it. The NBA really, like I said, what Mark just said, too reserved. I think the NBA tried it. The NBA tried to get Jason Tatum to take the next step, and he did not. He did not. He had the opportunity to be the guy, to be the face, but I understand, like, you looked up to Kobe, you worked out with Kobe and all that. You ain't Kobe. You just not. And there's no shame in that, but Boston needs a guy. Boston has always had a guy that, like, yo, going into battle, that's our leader. That's who it's going to be. Jason Tatum's an amazing player. He's not that guy. He's just not. And we know for damn sure Brown not the guy. Brown, 2 years ago, we was questioning Jaylen Brown if he had a left hand or not. And they still gave his boy, and they still gave his man all this money. I think that's the goofiest thing you could do, because now you're messing up, putting pieces around your two superstars. Mm-hmm. I think one of them got to go. Somebody has to go, because Jason.
Well, Tatum about to get paid this summer.
And Mark made the point. Like, they basically, that when we talk about the window, they basically better get it done soon, because, like you said,
this year. I think it's got to be this year. I think it has to be this year. Like, this is their opportunity to get over the hump, and they better
especially
not
with Denver out. I thought Denver was a tough matchup for them. I said with Denver out, they got to win it.
That's what I said. You know what? I said the same thing, Byron. I was like, man, if they run to the Nuggets, I think the Nuggets got them. But looking at the T-Wolves, I think the T-Wolves got them too. Just because I was thinking when the chocolate writer was asking, is Boston tough? Hell no, they not tough. And I was about to say, ain't no team tough. But no, Minnesota's tough. Minnesota is definitely tough. Like, they bring a certain physicality that resembles when KG's era, when he was with the Timberwolves, they resemble that. And it's just so fitting that was the last time they was in the conference finals. But I just think they don't have a dog. I don't think the Celtics have a dog. And I think that you need a dog as your leader. Like, their dog was Marcus Smart, unfortunately, who is the third option.
Let me ask you real quick though. Do you feel like we talked about in the West people having dogs? Do you feel like the Pacers have a dog?
Tyler Harbert, he's on his way, but no, I don't think he's a dog.
Not yet.
I don't think he's a stamp. Like, I need to see you stamp. I need to see you stamp. And you know, if ands or buts.
He should play like that every game, not just one game out the series. He needs to play like that every game.
Like how he all that chirping game
30
7.
and 10. He needs 30 and 10 every night. 30 and 10.
You know what I'm saying? I need to see that all the time. Anthony Edwards, yo, stamp how he put KD in them out in game 4 and swept them boys, giving them 40. He scored 40 like 3 times in a row. Like that's stamp. Come in, beat the champions 2 games at home, and then coming back to finish it up. Like that, you come to play when you need them, when your team needs you, you step up. And Anthony Edwards did not have a great game 7. Statistically, he did not have a great game 7, but he came up when he needed to. That's why you need guys like we were talking about the Lakers with LeBron and AD. It's not LeBron, it's AD. If AD come to play, it's different. Cat held it down. Cat, Reed, all them guys held it down.
Reed, 6th man of the year right there.
Until Ant was like, all right, God, I got it. I'm gonna pick it up from here. Mike Conley, a veteran guard, helps too. A veteran guard helps, and that's what. And Boston would get a little notch in that, but it ain't no dogs over there in Boston. That's what's terrifying. It's no dogs over there. Like, and I think they'll get past the Pacers because the Pacers don't have no dogs. And I think Boston straight up is a better team, but it's no dogs in the East. That's why I agree with you. Whoever come out the West, I think is gonna win.
Go ahead, Raj. I want you to get in there. I know you love Anthony Edwards. He reminds you of Kobe, reminds you of Jordan. And like Ravante said, didn't play well yesterday. His others helped pull him through, but he's got that defense. He can lock down your best player. He's already said he's going to be guarding Kyrie. Cat showed up. Gobert showed up, actually playing defense on Jokic.
Reed.
They got a deep team, but so does Dallas. They got Lively. They got Hardaway. They got, of course, Kyrie with Luka. They got PJ Washington. They got Gafford from your Wizards. They got pieces. So really, the key to this series is what others play better on the team.
Yes, Anthony Edwards is one of the best players in basketball. He's ascending. To me, he's going to be the face of the league pretty soon.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, to me, is soft. Halliburton, he's soft.
Even Jason Tatum's commercials be soft, yo.
Yeah, they extra light skin. No offense, Byron. They extra light
Not
skin.
extra light skin.
But I mean,
the difference is he has the S curl though. Byron don't really got the S curl though.
I don't care about his S curl. I don't care about his looks. It don't matter to me. His
that's
game
a different type. That's a different light skin when you have the S curl.
Yeah, that's great. He can be Al B. Shore Jr. Well, I'm sorry, he can be Q. Whatever. Anyway, Anthony Edwards is everything that I love watch growing up. When I was watching Jordan, when I was watching Kobe, he reminds me of those guys. Granted, he didn't have a great game yesterday, but he still showed up defensively. He shut down Jamal Murray when he needed to shut him down. Held him to 9 points in the second half of that game. And when it came down to make big shots, and he got the ball, he made some big shots. So he did what he was supposed to do. He got Karl Anthony Towns playing out of his mind. Like, I've never seen that brother play as well as he's played this year in the league. Even Gobert showed up. Rudy Gobert was another guy that was known to be soft by Donovan Mitchell. He showed some backbone, got a lot of offensive rebounds when they needed it, and they played extremely well when they came back from 20 down in the third quarter. So hats off to them. But against this series against the Mavericks, it's going to be a little different, man. Kyrie, of course, has been here before. Doncic has been in the conference finals before. I think this is going to go 7 games. I think that the Mavericks are time enough for the Wolves. I think the Mavericks will give them a run for their money. But I think at the ultimate end, I think the Wolves will pull it out in 7 games again. But it's just going to be a dogfight. And I think the Mavericks will match their defensive intensity against the Timberwolves. But, yeah, I see this series going 7 games. I think that Doncic, I think that Kyrie, I think Anthony Edwards, I think everybody's going to. This is going to be a fantastic series. They're going to show out. This is going to be some of the best basketball you've seen this entire series, and that includes the last series that we saw against the Denver and the Timberwolves. I think right now we're seeing some of the best basketball being played, and I think this series is going to go 7, man. I just do. I don't think that the Wolves, win in 5 or the Mavericks win in 5. I think they go all 7. They're going to go all out, and whoever wins the Western Conference Finals will win the NBA Finals. Yes, I'm saying it because I don't think the S Curl Man or Derek White or Jalen Brown. I don't think they have nothing on none of these teams. I'm sorry, I don't think they have nothing on none of these teams. They won 60 games in the Eastern Conference. The Eastern Conference ain't the Western Conference. The Western Conference is the best conference, and they're going to show it again when it comes to the NBA Finals. So it don't matter who wins. Whoever wins is going to win the NBA Finals.
But Rod, so if we say, because I agree, I think it's going to go to distance. Does that mean Dallas wins this series?
No, I picked the Timberwolves to win. I picked the Wolves to win.
The road team, 8 out of 12 out of eight out of the last 12 matchups have been the road team.
Yeah, Dre, you heard that stat. Since the bubble, road teams in Game 7 are 8-4 now after yesterday, and that was the largest comeback in Game 7 history in the NBA history. 15 points by the T-Wolves yesterday on the road.
It's 20 points.
And another fun fact is that it was 20 years to the day they won their last Game 7 in a series. So it was just like a perfect storm, perfectly fitting for that Timberwolves team, who back then had KG, and like you were talking about, like having that dog, that guy. You had KG back then. Now you got Ant-Man, who looks like he's coming for the throne. He's not like no apologies, no ifs, ands about it. He's like, bro, I'm coming for that number 1 spot, for real. And let me add in as well Brunson, because he was a little guy, but yesterday he looked pissed that he is like he gave it his all, and he knew that if he was able to be healthy and out there, that he could have helped his team win. But that Knicks team was just too banged up. But I can't wait to see what Jalen Brunson they do to help contribute that, brother, so that way they can keep that train moving. Because when the Knicks are good, it's good for the NBA. Same thing with the Boston Celtics. Same thing with the Lakers. It's certain teams that just when they're good, it's just great for the league. So I think that moving forward, hopefully the Knicks can keep that momentum going.
Yo, Byron, I'm concerned about the health of the Dallas Mavericks. I'm concerned about, because I think Mark said it earlier. Is Luka can Luka go the distance? Kyrie has some injury history. That's concerning going into the series. But I will give Dallas the edge and experience. Luka's been there before, and of course Kyrie has a championship. So playoff basketball, I'm not worried about their standard of play. I just don't want them to get into that 1-on-1 mess. But the dog is Ant. The dog is Ant, and two very deep teams. I think this has to go to distance. And if I had this pick right now, I'm probably going to lean T-Wolves, but both these teams are very formidable, and it should be a good matchup. Unlike what's going on in the East, I don't think that's going to be a good. I don't think that's going to be a good series. I hope it is, but I don't think it is.
Big shout out to OKC. Big shout out to the New York Knicks. Big shout out to Denver. Big shout out to those teams. They're going to still be around next year. I know Sharon even mentioned can't wait till Ja comes back. The Grizzlies are going to be good next year. Houston finished strong on the West. Mark, your Kings are still floating around. Like you guys said, it's going to be interesting. The Greek Freak will be back with Dame in Milwaukee. We'll see what Doc Rivers and the team does. So the NBA is the NBA has a lot of teams in the next couple of years that can really have a shot to win a championship, and it's a little unpredictable as well. Cravante, you ready to get goofy, brother?
Oh, we got one more quick.
The kicker thing. Oh,
Yeah,
go
the
ahead. Yeah, I
kicker.
know
Oh
you. I
shoot.
know Dre and Roger wanted to touch on that, so
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
let y'all do that before
yeah,
we
yeah,
get.
yeah. Y'all went on a tangent with the last topic, but yeah, let's touch on that real quick. I heard what Queen Mia had to say. Heard what Dre had to say in the comments over the past couple of days, and what some other people had to say. Look, I thought it wasn't serious at all. I get it. He said some things that a lot of people didn't like, but I re-listened to the speech again tonight. Look, it wasn't. I don't know if Graver said it was 11 minutes. Actually, it was 20. It was 20
Oh.
minutes. It was actually 20 minutes. But I just didn't have a problem with what he said about the women part. I mean, granted, he could have worded it a little differently, but I agree with him. I agree with him that we need more traditional women in the world. Now, I'm not saying that women can't have careers or they can't do certain things. That I'm not saying nothing like that. Women can do whatever the hell they want to do. But growing up, I've seen my mother and my grandmother be traditional women, and that's all I've known on pretty much my entire life. And it worked in a lot of situations, especially for my grandparents. I've seen how that dynamic works and how the family evolves and becomes one. Like it's needed. I wish we had more of it in today's society. But like I said before, I think he may probably worded it a little differently. Maybe to the point where it's like, oh, you got to be barefoot and pregnant. No, you don't got to do all that. And granted, he didn't say that, but it's just like little certain things I think that just trigger women that I caught, and I was like, well, he didn't really. I don't think he really meant it that way because he was actually talking about his wife and how his wife made him a better man by being a homemaker for their family. So I just thought the women took it out of context. They took it in a whole different way, and I thought his speech was great. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought his speech was fantastic. I wish we did live more like that in society today. Because if we did, we wouldn't have people like the diddlers, running around being goofy and a bunch of other goofy stuff. So I don't know, man. It's just my opinion. People don't have to agree with it or not. But I do wish that we live like you know more in that traditional household and mindset of being having traditional roles being played. But it is what it is. Like I said before, people can have their opinions. They can disagree or agree. It doesn't matter. We live in that type of country now, so it is what it is, man. But all that backlash that he got was unnecessary. People didn't have to go for his job or anything like that. I thought that was goofy. And yeah, man, we're gonna live and we're gonna move on. But Dre, I'll let you give your take on it, and we can go on the goofies of the week after that.
All right. In the essence of time, my take will be short. Um, I went from totally disagreeing upon it to uh, being able to see his standpoint while not agreeing with it. Um, for those who don't know, I went to private school myself, so I was around people who thought just like the Kansas City Chiefs kicker for the longest time. So I did go listen to the entirety of the speech, and from what he was saying, it seemed as if he was saying that um, his wife was a huge contributor to who and what he is. But however, his views also, because of religion, um, based upon like the LGBTQ plus community, the roles of women, it seemed it seemed very suspect, old school, and not transcendent upon today, who is trying to move women forward because women, the women are out there these are women who were getting college degrees who are entering the workforce, and it came across as that's nice that you're getting a college degree. However, your biggest prize is going to be you as a wife and a mother and taking care of home. When, like I said, they're in college, going to school for a reason. So that's the pushback. And yes, there's been the small snippet that's gone around the internet, but also when you hear the totality of his speech, it focuses mainly on that and kind of comes off chauvinistic and not relatable um, to today's times and today's modern woman, or those who are of the LGBTQ plus community.
Devontae, you ready to get goofy? I know you got some ammo this week with a lot to choose from.
I just sent something Dre sent to me
Okay.
that I wanted to touch on. I didn't know if we were able to play it or not because I didn't want to get
Okay.
in
Let
trouble.
me do your intro and let me take a look at it. I did see it, but let's get ready for Cavante's Goofies of the week. Let's make a call to the bullpen and bring out Goofy.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy. Stupid.
Yeah,
Just stupid.
Good people, welcome to Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. Byron, the one I sent to you, I'm gonna give you. I'll talk about that second to see if it's possible, if that could be pulled up or not, and if you can play it, let me know. If not, I'll just talk about it. But the first one, so I have two goofies. Y'all know I talk about goofiness in general, whether high, low, or in the middle. We're talking about it, whether it's funny, serious, or anything in between. We pretty much cover it. I call it out, and we go on from there. Now, I have a couple goofies this week, but the first one I'll talk about is kind of one we already kind of touched on. And it's just it's the whole Diddy thing. It's still very much the whole Diddy altercation thing that keeps going on. It's like it keeps adding to it. It keeps adding more and more goofiness, just keeps getting added to it. And again, like I've said, I'm just gonna pretty much recap. We've all been aware of how much of a grimy, disgusting, and narcissist person that Diddy has always shown himself to be. And it's always been rumored that, he was he's like he puts his hands on everybody, and pretty much at this point it's not just women. He puts his hands on everybody, and it's all wrong, crazy. And those of you that's been under a rock, a video from that's about 8 years old now came out with Diddy running down the hallway as Dre and Dre McHale used to say back in the day in his drawers. Well, I don't even know if that was the case, but he had a towel on.
Oh, Des Bryant, Michael Irvin, when Michael Irvin was describing him, Des Bryant had got hurt, and he was in the locker room after the Cowboys still was able to win that game, and he was like, "Look at my son dapping people up in his drawers." That's Michael Irvin.
But Diddy, I don't know but I know he had a towel on, so I can't even really speak on all that. But
he out there looking like the wrestler Val Venus, coming out with a towel on,
coming out and ready to do damage is crazy to me, like wild, like. And again, when you know something and somebody describes something to you, no matter how much excruciating detail it is, it's nothing like saying it. It's nothing like saying it. And it's like, it's not surprising, but it's just cringeworthy. Like, why are you putting your hands on her like she like she took something from you. And you know, and even still, like that's excessive. Like that's just over the top excessive, and you are all the way wrong. And you knew you was all the way wrong because you put out a BS apology video, which made you look like more of a narcissist because you didn't apologize to anybody directly. You just did like a general I'm trying to get help. I didn't like, basically he didn't like how he looked. He getting professional help, like forgiveness. Like, bro, we're not trying to hear none of that because you've been doing this for way too long. Like, you ain't about to get no sympathy, no empathy from anybody, because folks been knew about you. So this was going to come out in some way, shape, or form. But it's just really disgusting how people at the top, and Graven was talking about this earlier, like people at the top feel like they could do anything they want and they're invincible and can't be touched. But obviously Diddy must have not renewed his Illuminati subscription, and things have turned left. I think he might have did a breach of contract. Byron, he probably did a breach of contract, and they was like, we can't. This is entirely too much. And honestly and truthfully, we kind of saw it when the lawsuit came out with Cassie, and over the weekend he settled. I was like, that's the fastest I've ever seen an accusation and then the settlement come within like 2 days. Like if that, I've never seen it happen that fast, especially somebody with money who can afford to go through the civil suit because he got money. But he settled very quickly, and that was just telling. That was just very, very, very telling. Like, he knew he got caught, he messed up, and then had the nerve to tell her, basically say that she's lying about all the goofies. She's lying, basically lying about everything. You know what I'm saying? And this was just one small clip that proves that if this happened and it's just now coming out, like, who knows how much other things happen. You know what I'm saying? And he's just very, very disgusting, and he deserves any and everything that's coming to him, because he truthfully, he deserves it. It's not right. Gosh, Rod. I'm reading Rod's comment. So Byron, were you able to pull up the
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play that for you real quick. I know it's like a minute. I'm gonna play it real quick and see if we can get that going. Just let me know if you can hear. Let me do this. All right, let's try this.
So this is the second goofy. Shout out to Dre for sending this to me. It just basically paints another one of our Hall of Fame athletes in a terrible light. Terrible light.
Hear, let me know if you can hear this.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I can hear.
I just want to say, I grew up a Democrat. And I've always been a Democrat. Until I met this man right here. He will not have to worry about nobody in my family ever vote for a Democrat again. Okay.
Don't you just love that guy?
Hey, you cut it. You cut it after this.
I tell you, it has been a very exciting day.
All right. Yeah, that was Lawrence Taylor and former NFL running back Otis Anderson at the Trump rally.
Yeah. Lawrence. Right. Wow. I'm usually not one to talk about politics, and I'm usually not one to talk about politics or religion. Um, I usually try to stay out of those spaces because people take those aspects of their lives very, very seriously. Like to the point it could get loud, it could get belligerent, it get physical. And those are typically those are people who are typically closed minded. And I'm just not one for those type of spaces or to even engage in those type of conversations. But God damn it, Lawrence Taylor. I hate saying our legendary Hall of Fame Black athletes go down this very, very ugly path that we call a politics game. I believe it was another player played for the Redskins at the time. I believe his name was Dexter Mann. He was another guy cooning and buffooning back in the day. And here's Lawrence Taylor cooning, buffooning, gyrating, doing the shuffle, huh? And it just looks bad. It just looks bad because it's like, and I'm not sure if it's an act. It's hard to tell with the internet to see if people are genuinely saying this or are they getting paid to say this, or like, is this how they feel? Or is the bag that crazy to basically sell your soul, or to sell your name to this BS? Like, your name is attached to Trump, which is a very, very wild thing. Herschel Walker was another wild one. But Lawrence Taylor is just not. I hate to see it from Black, and especially him outwardly admitting he was a part of one party and jumped to the complete other and opposite party because of Donald Trump. Like, I hate to hear that from a brother that the community of New York, New Jersey looks up to for more reasons than one. And I don't know, just I'm still trying to get my words together, but it's like, is LT still on something? Is he on something?
Still got that earring in.
I don't think he takes it out, but is he on something? Like, is he still? Because you know how he got down when he was a player, but is he still on something? Because, and he looked well, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, like, this is so bad. Like, you ain't got the coon and buffoon like this. Like, what is Trump doing for you? Or what does he know about you for you to just completely flip-flop like this? And I'm not saying I'm on one side or the other, but I'm just saying that's wild that he was the sole reason that you jumped from Democrat to Republican. Sounds crazy to me. I think it's something else going on behind the scenes. I don't know yet. Maybe something will come out later, but you look extra goofy. Lawrence Taylor, the great Hall of Fame linebacker. Goofy. So, Lawrence Taylor pledging his allegiance to Trump, and the diddler just being the snake, diddling of others, and it's just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. So those two are my goofies of the week. And y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great. and they're all on the wrong side of it.
Oh, gosh. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
Stupid. Just stupid. Jam. Oh, jam.
Thank you for those goofies of the week, Cravante, baby. Drizzy Dre, episode 441 is in the books. Episode 442 coming up. What can the people expect from the Flex Zone podcast?
Just like our motto, we are the place that gives you sports how you want it, when you need it. The summer's approaching, but it's still a lot of hot topics, a lot of hot guests, and a lot of great things for this channel moving forward. So can't wait. And shout out to our video, our ghost rather today. So we appreciate you chiming on and being on Engraving.
Yes,
and as well as everybody commenting too. You're not forgotten about.
Yes, big shout out to also Queen Mia Dre. She hopped on while you were gone as well to give her perspective from the woman's side as well. Big Raj got a big week of stuff coming. Don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to make it happen as we always do.
Yeah, shout out to Engraving, of course, is always coming on. Queen Mia coming on as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you, Chuck, Miss Sharon. Had a lovely chat about a lot of things. Mark, of course, Big Reg, always in the chat. But yes, we have a very intriguing week. A lot of previews. I've seen you post a little bit in the back chat. Also, we're going to have, I think, AEW Dynamite Wednesday, maybe SmackDown on Friday. 2 pay-per-views on Saturday and Sunday to do. And hopefully I'm eating meat at Jimmy's on Sunday.
That's wild.
We shall see. I don't know because they haven't posted anything.
I'm about
yet,
to say I haven't seen anything yet either.
But if they show it, then I'll be there. If not, then I'll be eating meat at my house. But either way, I mean,
hey, I'm with them. Them crab cake egg rolls, boy.
You're with them. Oh my god, this is too much.
Yes.
Yes, the chocolate writer. We see the purple and gold. Maybe the Lakers will have a coach by next week. We'll have something to talk about as Dre pulls up the heart.
Hopefully it's not JJ Redick.
He don't know how to do the love. He don't know how to do the Jordan Love.
Oh.
You gotta do it right. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, you see, there we go.
Yes. Yes, episode 441 in the books, episode 442 coming up next week. We're working on some guests, so we got more people coming in the summer. It will not be the dog days of sports on the Flex Zone. We will keep it pushing. Yes, Kansas season is approaching, Dre and Raj, so we'll have a lot of festivities, I'm sure, as well coming up with that. And not too soon after, Cravante, baby. Throw your ones up, acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table, as it is the Flex Zone podcast. Only place give you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out, and make sure that it's the Flex Zone's house. And make sure that you check us out this week. Hit the bell. A lot of content. We got AEW Wednesday. We got SmackDown possibly on Friday. We have the previews and predictions for the matches that I get to. And, of course, Saturday, we start in the afternoon. And then Sunday night for Double or Nothing. Going to be a big weekend. And we're off on Monday. So next week, guys, we may not have a show on Monday. We may push it to Tuesday. So we'll keep you guys posted. Hit that bell for all notifications. We'll probably update you during the live streams and videos that we do throughout the week. But the executive producer, Patriarch, big boy up there, Drizzy Dre, and of course his co-patriarch, Cravante Bebe, the Commandalorian. Maybe we'll get into some draft profiles, Cravante. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not. We'll figure something out.
It's not the same, bro.
Social media producer, Big Raj. Streams pristine, and of course yours truly, God's favorite host. We'll be here all week. Thank you guys for watching. Sharon, Mark, Big Reg, once again, big shout out to Engraving, big shout out to Queen Mia, big shout out to Shantae was in here, I think. Cavante. We had
Cancer, and also Cancer season coming up because her birthday and Dre's birthday are, days apart.
How nice. How nice.
Also, I forgot to say, man, if y'all want to super chat us, you can. We're on YouTube. We're great with YouTube again. So if you want to get them super chats in anytime, hit that super chat button. Get yourself a sticker, or whatever, and keep it moving if you decide to do that.
Yes, Miss Sharon. We see your birthday's coming up. We'll make sure we show you some love, and we'll have you back soon. Talk about those Steelers and all that fun stuff. Hopefully, the Lakers' next coach as well. We'll be live throughout the week. Content on the channel. We've been here for over 2 hours. We're gonna put the kids to bed. For Dre, Cavante, and Raj God's favorite host signing off. Again, shout out to Engraven and Queen Mia. Check us out throughout the week on the channel. The Flex On Podcast, fellas. One more time, giving the sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Good night, everybody. Thank you guys for watching and appreciate the love as always. Peace.
Jam.